What I'd like to talk to you guys today about is the relationship between reader and writer. Now, you guys, as the writer, this is important for you to think about this relationship because what you really want to do with your readers is help them to create images of your stories in their mind and not so much just give them words that are shooting into their heads off the page. What I'm going to talk to you about today comes a lot from one of my teachers at the Iowa Writers Workshop, Frank Conroy, one of the greats, longtime head of the Writers Workshop, who has sadly passed away. But here's some of the stuff that he would talk to us about. Now, in the traditional sense, a lot of people think that the reader-writer relationship goes like this. Can you see that? A lot of people think that it's a straight line from writer to reader in terms of the energy that's passing. You sit down at your desk, you write, you're putting in a lot of energy there. You're creating the energy there to make your writing. That takes a lot of work. But as readers as well, you guys know that it takes energy to read something as well. And the best stuff, the best writing that really works for us, helps us to create images of the stories in our mind's eye. While you're reading, you want to be able to create images and movies of what you're reading. That's how writing can really capture us. And so, as a writer, you want to acknowledge that, and you want to recognize that the reader is going to put energy into this as well, and that the reader needs to have some space in there to create their own energy. So, instead of just going straight line from writer to reader, we want to look at a new sort of model here. We want to look at a kind of model where the writer is putting in energy, and the writer is putting in energy, and the reader is putting in energy as well. Now up here at the top of this thing, where the writer and reader are meeting, we want to call this area up top here, we want to call that the zone. That's what you guys are shooting for. That's what you should be shooting for anyway. A place where you're putting in energy, but there's space for the reader to put in energy too. And how this can manifest itself is that you don't want to just jam everything into the reader's head. You want to get away from telling, and you want to work with a kind of thing that allows you to show in your writing, but also allows the reader to see these things. A good example of this would be not trying to overdo it with the words. You don't want to try and make the words do every single thing. You don't want to really make your reader always think about the words on the page. You want them to go beyond that and into the world of images. So think about creating images while you write. One of the things that really helps me with this is to imagine the scene and try to see it in my head as I'm writing it. With some of the Jack Palm stuff, I'll literally try and imagine the scene and the characters and what they're doing and try to create that image in my writing. So you want to leave some room there. If you think about some of Hemingway's great writing, one of the things that he was really good at was allowing the reader to bring their own experience and their own imagination into creating the piece. And that's really important. Remember, there's got to be room for the reader to put his energy into this thing. And sometimes that energy comes from a memory or an emotion. You got to leave that space for them to put their own stuff in there. Hope that helps you today. I'm Seth Harwood.